Welcome to So I Married a Film Critic. I'm your co-host, Julia.
And this is Barry the Film Critic. Hello, everyone.
And tonight we are going to talk about the movie M3gan from now.
A couple of weeks ago. Yeah, this was the first big release of 2023. And I wanted to see it in the theater because I'm like, oh, that looks like fun. But then I thought, no, I'm not, that looks stupid. I'm not gonna start my year off going to see a killer doll movie. But then everyone kept saying how good it was, and it was making a killing at the box office. So I finally got around to making some time to see it, and it was gone. And then it went straight to streaming, and that's when you and I got to see it. And yeah, what a sleeper. What a fun movie.
Yeah, I was not going to watch this movie originally. And
I'm like, come on, it's 90 minutes, PG-13. No. How bad can it be? Come on.
You didn't try to convince me. You just said, hey, let's turn this on. And I'm like, I'll just watch a few minutes. But I got sucked in.
Well, the opening is wonderful. I mean, that's one of the nice surprises of the movie. It's really funny. And I love that faux commercial at the top of it.
I had a dog, she was my only friend, but she got old and died, now I'm alone again.
Hey, sweetie, I got something that's gonna make you feel better.
Perpetual pets are a dream come true, because now you've a friend that lives longer than you do.
Perpetual pets are just like real pets, except that when you talk to them, they actually talk back.
Amazeballs!
There's over 6 different pets to collect, each equipped with their own personalities and entirely spontaneous reactions.
Careful! That's my butt!
They speak 8 different languages. They can take pictures.
Come on, sweetheart, find the lens!
And with the customized app, you can even feed your friend. But not too much.
Uh-oh, clean up on aisle 7.
The app is updated with new content daily, so you can do almost anything together. You can watch YouTube videos, learn fun facts, play multi-platform games, buy accessories for your pet. With so many options, what will you and your pet do next?
Yeah, I think it opened up really nicely. It's got a real nice sense of satire immediately. It makes me wonder, what goes on over at Hasbro? What are they doing over there? And this is like a fun idea that like a toy company like Hasbro, it's really like, it's kind of like that company in RoboCop, OCP. It's like, they're coming up with cutting edge technology, but it's for a purpose that's sort of besides how good the technology is.
It's like the movie Toys that we just talked about. The bad side of toys.
Just like toys, right? Yeah.
Okay.
Also PG-13. Yeah, I got to say, like, it's an eerie film, but one of the things I really dug about this movie is it doesn't rush to get to the good stuff. It tells a good story. Like the build up is good. The characters are interesting, and it does have a heart. It does have an emotional center, and it doesn't like, it really takes its time before we even get to the title character.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think our audience mostly knows that I am not a horror movie person and definitely not a killer doll movie person.
How many killer doll movies have you seen?
None. I don't watch them. I don't
think you've seen any.
I think this might be my first one.
Wow, your first one.
Mm-hmm.
So is this a gateway drug? Like when did Child's Play next?
No.
Magic?
No, not doing it. Annabelle? No.
Oh, yeah, Annabelle. I love the Annabelle movies. Yes. You're on.
Okay, let's get into it. Because it's not a very long film, and we're not going to go scene by scene, but...
Well, Allison Williams, once again, rocking it for Blumhouse. I mean, she's done a lot of stuff over the years. She's been a busy actress, and I've heard about some of the stuff she's done. But really, she's the girl in Get Out. And she was so scary in that movie. It's like it figures that here she is again, just killing it for a Blumhouse movie. But really, like that scene at the end of Get Out, where she's on the phone with Kaluuya's best friend, who's calling to check in, like, where's my buddy? And she does that thing where her face is completely dead and devoid of emotion, but her voice is playing the dumb girlfriend. That scene really scares me, and it's because of how good she is in that movie. I mean, Bradley Whitford and Catherine Keener, but really Allison Williams is scary in that movie. I love her in these films. Can we ever accept her in like a rom-com after Get Out? I mean, I think I think horror movies and thrillers might be her bread and butter, and so be it. She's good in them.
Okay, so we have. This movie opens up with a young girl named Katie and her parents, and they're in the car, they're driving. Katie has a funky doll this like little robot, like gremlin.
It looks like a Furby. Yeah, it's like it's a parody of a Furby. It's great.
That we end up finding out that her aunt,
And it farts. That's the important detail.
her Aunt Gemma basically designed. We find that out later.
Yes, and that's Allison Williams.
But there's a really bad car accident.
Of course.
Katie's parents die in the snowstorm. And
Has there ever been a scene in cinema where a little kid is in the back seat and the parents in the front seat, and it's from the point of view of the kid where the car doesn't crash?
I don't know.
It's like, it would be amazing if they had a scene like that where they actually get to where they're going and they open the doors and they actually get out. That would be surprising. Because at this point, it's like, clearly they're going to eat it in 3, 2... Oh, here we go.
I mean, I didn't see it coming, so I don't know.
You just thought, that's an interesting perspective shot where the camera's like in the back seat with the kid and the parents keep looking back while they should have their eyes on the road. Like, oh, honey, or
Okay, so the parents die and Katie goes to live with her Aunt Gemma, who's a roboticist at the high-tech Seattle toy company Funky. And here we just kind of see, like, how much time has Gemma ever spent with Katie? Like, it seems like they barely know each other.
Well, we get this great bit of this RoboCop bit where she demonstrates to her boss why her creation, Jane Austen on the mind. Megan. Emma, the prequel to Megan. So she demonstrates the way Megan works, and of course the head explodes. So it's like this wonderful. It's it's very RoboCop. And the boss isn't happy, so it's almost like the whole thing of Megan becomes kind of a moot point. The movie quickly moves past it, and it becomes about how the aunt is a completely unfit guardian for this little girl who is traumatized. She's got PTSD, and this aunt is so clueless and has a complete inability to connect to this kid. Really wants technology not only to run her life, but to be the aid for this little girl. It's like everything, like, okay, watch TV, stare at your phone, Alexa, do something. Like it's a nice little commentary about the world we live in right now.
Yeah, and they don't even cry. I mean, like, Gemma loses her sister.
I don't think Gemma was close with her sister.
Yeah, well, obviously.
Or with anyone, really. I think she's in love with her work.
Yeah. So she ends up showing Katie this other robot that she created that she puts on gloves and kind of moves the robot with these gloves. And Katie's really into it. She's like, oh my gosh, if I had a toy like that, that would be the only toy I would ever need. And
like, ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, light bulb moment. So that moves Gemma to finish her Megan project and actually create this doll, this 4-foot creepy doll.
It's funny too, because you look at the prototype that she makes for Megan, and it winds up being what they use in the whole film, and it's like, isn't this the first step? Because it looks like a creepy Betty Davis doll. It's like, no one would play with this. Nobody would want this. It looks like she has too much eyeshadow. She looks like a mean little girl. Like, there's, like, look, as a kid, well, and we should touch upon this. I mean, I might have had a Teddy Ruxpin. Did you ever have a Teddy Ruxpin?
No, I think I really wanted one, and maybe my friend had one.
Yeah, I think Marty and I had a Teddy Ruxpin. Marty, the editor of the show, please confirm if we ever had one. I think we did. The one thing I never took advantage of, I heard it was an urban legend that, Teddy Ruxpin had a tape cassette in its belly, and you put the tape cassette in, and it was, "Hi, I'm Teddy Ruxpin," and it would read you stories, and you would, talk to you. But like, I heard a rumor that you could put like Run DMC's "Raising Hell" in there, and Teddy Ruxpin would still, you could put anything in there, and Teddy Ruxpin would just be talking along with these obscene pop songs. But I understand the appeal of Teddy Ruxpin. I don't understand the appeal of this creepy little girl.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with the premise. I'm just saying, like, I don't buy the optimism for Megan. I don't.
Yeah, and she's got a really weird outfit, and she's
like a turn of the century girl who's like mean.
Her eyes look dead inside.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what's amazing is that I was watching and I'm like, how did they do this?
Yeah.
And it's actually like a real girl with this like rubber mask on, basically, who does all of the movements for Megan, and then they have somebody else do the voice. I don't really know how I'm unclear how they make the mouth move, like if the actress inside actually did it or if that was like more, I don't know, something they figured out a different way. But she does a really good job. I mean, she kind of, the way that this actress moves, she's a dancer, she's a gymnast. So it does bring a lifelike quality, but she's still super creepy.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. It's really cool the way, as an effect, if you will, it's very cool. And I found the character really intriguing, as much as I was always going like, no, this is obviously going to be a horror film, because look at this. This is not plausible. Although I got to say, there's a moment where it's established that in order for Megan to be connected to this little girl, she has to basically do this bit of coding where you hold the palm.
Yeah, they have to pair her to her like primary user.
Yeah, that's right out of AI. That's right out of Steven Spielberg's AI. One of my favorite things about AI is that once you do that, it's like this, the robot, if you will, will not emotionally disconnect from you. And I don't know, that could have gone a little further here, but yeah, it's just what helps so much again is that this movie is so funny. Mm-hmm. It's really funny. It's intentionally funny, which was a real surprise. Like, this film is sharper than you'd think. And as much as Megan is sort of, a ridiculous contrivance, I really enjoyed it because because the movie is talking about, how far we'll go to create artificial intelligence in order to have some kind of connection, this emotional connection that's lacking. And and obviously this is so much more ridiculous than Alexa. Mm-hmm. This little creepy girl walking around looking like one of the children of the corn.
Yeah, and how creepy is it that like she sits in Katie's room every night on some kind of, I don't know, charging station and just like stares. It's like...
And I think that's where the movie's eeriest. I think that's the best thing about the film in terms of the film being creepy and eerie. Because I don't find this movie scary at all. I don't. I think the scenes of Megan being alone in the kid's room with her, staring at her while she's sleeping, I think that's where... I don't know, I think that's the nightmarish quality of it. It's kind of the reverse of Toy Story. Like, wouldn't it be great if these things would come alive? No, not at all.
No, it's like the nightmare toys from the first Toy Story.
Yeah,
like
Sid's house.
Yeah, Sid's mutant creations.
Definitely. But I agree with you. It definitely works. And again, the movie is having fun with this idea.
So Gemma has to like pitch this toy to her boss, pitch Megan to like the whole company, right? So that it can become manufactured. And it is the craziest scene because Katie has to be there with Megan, and they're kind of in this like playroom with like a one-way mirror, and Katie's in a bad mood, and Megan's like, "What's wrong, Katie?" And she just kind of talks about how she's sad about her parents, and I was actually kind of like moved by this scene, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, this is how it's gonna happen. Because Megan says, well, tell me like one of your favorite, like, tell me a memory. And so she shares a memory, and then Megan says, I am now gonna keep that memory for you. And like basically she recorded what Katie said. And then she's like, now if you ever want to hear that memory, you can just tell me and I'll like replay it for you. And then they like hug, and everybody who's watching is like crying. Okay.
I think the scene is meant to be satirical, because it is so absurd that these three-piece suit fat cats are watching this and thinking like, we're going to get rich off this robot that can counsel this little girl. It's like, this isn't even like, let's play. This isn't like, my buddy and me will climb up a tree. No, this is like,
hey, sister. Yeah.
I will help you with your trauma.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this. Then I will store this memory for like, it is so creepy and uncomfortable. And clearly it was.
Well, it's creepy, but it was also a surprising moment in the script, I thought, because I was not expecting this doll to like cosplay empathy.
Yeah, no, I agree. I like the moment a lot, but it's also so completely absurd that they would look at this and be like, oh, okay, this thing works. If anything, this should be like, oh, this is not good. This is like not sound medical advice.
Not good.
This is psychologically incorrect. This robot is going to traumatize this little girl, creating memory banks of her confessions that she should be telling to a shrink.
Right. Oh, okay. So there is a shrink who comes to the house because, since Katie lost her parents, the state had to get involved and find the next closest relative, blah, blah, blah. And she's really concerned that Gemma is like so checked out. And so this person is like, hey, if you're not up for this, we can send her to the brother who lives in Florida. And it's almost like Gemma just thinks like, oh my gosh, no, that's like the worst idea in the world. We have no idea who the brother is. We don't know if this is a terrible idea. But apparently Gemma thinks creating like an AI nanny is a better idea.
Gemma is the real monster of this movie.
You think?
Yeah, I think she's the real villain. I mean, she doesn't even have the emotional capacity of M3gan. She's creepy. She's detached. Her coworkers are always talking about how detached she is and how wrong it is that she's using M3gan and testing it on her traumatized niece. No, I mean, I think the movie is smart enough to realize that I do think she's the real villain of this film. I think she's talking about, hopefully the movie is giving us this message that it's not too late for us to recognize that we're addicted to technology. We're overly relying on technology. Alexa is stupid, and it's ridiculous that so many people have it in their homes. And this robot is obviously an extension of that. Again, like this idea of technology being a replacement for humanity.
Yeah, well, that's one thing. Gemma has named her Alexa Elsie, and she, has Elsie like, Elsie, turn on the lights, that whole thing. I'm like, you can't even turn on your own lights. Like, yeah. Anyways.
Well, in the 90s, whenever you saw a movie in the 90s where someone went to bed, they would clap twice and the lights would go off, so this is maybe better than that.
The clapper. I had a friend whose parents had that in their bedroom, and we would, I have a very vivid memory of just there's a dinner party with all these families at this house, and a bunch of us are just in the room, just clapping it on and off, over and over. That's all we did for 10 minutes is clap on, and we would sing the song. I mean, how annoying.
You knew how to party in the 90s.
Well, we were 10. So.
Oh yeah, when you're 10, yeah. Clapper is the greatest thing.
Yeah, we were young.
As an adult, it's stop the clapping.
Stop the clapping. But what happens with Gemma's Elsie, house robot is M3gan hacks into it. So again, did we not learn anything from the Terminator that a robot takeover is possible? Because she designs M3gan to be a learning robot and have adaptive features. It's don't do that. Don't have your robot learn on its own. That's dangerous.
Mm-hmm. Yes, this is very, very Skynet. Absolutely.
Yeah, very Skynet.
Mm-hmm.
I have more fears about that now than I ever did when I was...
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I could barely get my phone to work. I'm not worried. There was a movie, I don't remember what it was. There was a film recently where not only did technology... What was it? It was a movie where technology went amok and someone's toaster became conscious and attacked. Do you remember what it was?
Yeah, it was animated. The Mitchells versus the Machines.
Thank you. Yeah. Yes. And I laughed really hard because I've been making that joke for years. It's what, my phone doesn't work. I'm not afraid of my toaster becoming conscious and attacking me. And I love that there's a movie that actually did that. Thank you for remembering that. I've been wondering what that was.
Surprising for me.
No, good job. But yeah, I mean, so I'm still that kind of cynic. I'm like, well, I don't think it's really gonna happen. Others have said well, transcendence, it will happen. They will eventually surpass us, and computers can beat us at chess. And it's all right, well, I'm just not gonna play a computer at chess, whatever.
Well, no, but
play a computer at Candyland, see how well it does.
Well, now there's Chat GPT, AI writing for you. You can just put in your criteria and it will just pop out an email, an essay, an article, a letter, whatever you want. So people are like, oh yeah, I'm going to save so much money by not hiring people. I'm like, what? So everybody's stuff is going to sound exactly the same? Like, how boring.
This is what we said about email, that email was going to, save us from buying stamps. But what it has done, it killed the quill business. We're no longer writing with feathers and quills.
Quill business. Okay. Okay, so let's talk about Gemma's crazy neighbor.
Total contrivance, right out of Stephen King country. You need the wacky neighbor who's going to be a problem. Yeah, it's ridiculous. I don't think they handle it very well because what is this relationship? Like, I don't know if it's the way Allison Williams is playing it or just the way the other actress is playing it, but it's like it's not well defined. It's like, is this the crazy neighbor? Did they used to be friends? Like, what is? It's very murky. It's just like really all you need is a dog that's going out of control. That's all you need. You don't even need the neighbor. But yeah, the whole business of her neighbor's dog basically on the prowl. So it's going to be a problem with our little robot friend. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, at some point, Katie gets attacked by this dog. And then M3gan
retaliates.
Yeah, eventually kills the dog and buries it.
Yeah, although I gotta say, like, man, this is where the movie. It's not that the movie was ever less than entertaining. It's very entertaining and enjoyable. But this is where the movie kind of lost me. Because I'm like, all right, this is now it's like checking off the boxes.
Like a murder doll.
It's a murder doll movie, but like it's not scary like Annabelle, and it's not surprise. It's in terms of movies about artificial intelligence. It just the movie is kind of going through the formula of okay, like this person has to die, and this person has to die, and this person's annoying, this person has to die.
Okay, let's talk about what I think was one of the scarier moments in the middle when
the forest.
Yeah, so Gemma is going to take Katie to like this, I don't know, outside forest school, I guess.
Yeah.
And she tells her, like, I'm going to drop you off. I have to take M3gan and run tests on her and stuff. And of course, like, Katie is freaking out. It's almost like taking away a kid's, cell phone. Mm-hmm. And she's like, well, fine, she can come, but she has to sit on this, like, shelf with all these other toys. I mean, it is a creepy
It's a fun
scene.
reference to E.T.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah. So, anyways, Katie is in the forest, like, and this. They have to partner up, and she gets some
really
creepy
rotten boy who is just. I mean, he's got one line in the prior scene where he tells his mom to F off or something. It's like, okay, we hate this character. Well done, screenplay. He's only been on screen for about 2 minutes, and we immediately into this guy's bad news bears. Yeah.
So Katie's in the forest with him, kind of alone, and he is just like beating her up, kind of.
Yeah, it's just a mean little boy with anger issues.
Yeah, and so
M3gan to the rescue.
And she like goes after this kid, and she runs on like all fours, which I think is like anytime anybody does that in a movie, it just like freaks me out.
You really haven't seen many horror films.
No,
this is
obviously
Linda Blair did this in The Exorcist. I mean,
I did not.
Oh, well, I know you haven't seen that film, but I mean, no, I mean, this is
because
thing.
it's like it reminds me of someone just like being demonically possessed, like when they do that.
Well, it's like,
creepy.
she's embracing her inner horse. She does like this little crazy gallop.
Okay, but the actress who does M3gan, like, actually taught herself how to run like that.
Yeah. No, it's super cool, no question. But I don't know.
Okay, well,
if someone runs at me towards that, I don't know if I'd probably laugh.
If someone, if they were like running on all fours and looking at you.
Well, if it was M3gan, I'd be like, oh, someone wants a hug. Come here. Come here, little Teddy Ruxpin Jr.
Somebody wants a
Kid sister.
Okay. Well, then she like he like gets on top of her, and like she pretends to be not alive or whatever.
But it's a horror movie, so
she rips off his ear.
Yeah. Well, rips off his ear. What it looks like is they put a bit of rubber on this guy's ear, and she pulls on it. It's ridiculous. Okay. Again, like I'm certain movie, you're entertaining me, but like this is silly. Okay.
Okay, but then she like comes like off. I'm probably getting the sequence of events here are like backwards, but she like rises up like backwards.
Yes, because it's a horror movie. And it's got a
Yeah.
little shriek chord. Dun!
Yeah. And then this kid freaks out, runs, gets hit by a car, dies. A very convenient death for this child.
Oh, no. A very well done screenplay. This kid's in the movie for like 4 minutes. We go from hating his guts to being very happy that he dies a violent death.
Right.
Well done.
Yeah, because Megan says something like, bad little boys turn into like dangerous men or something.
Where did she get this?
Oh, she's obviously connected to the World Wide Web.
It's like downloading chat rooms, full of hatred.
Yeah. She's like,
YouTube comments, I hate everything now.
Oh yeah, she went through all the like the Reddit forums and
man.
just decided that like all men are terrible. That's probably what happened.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That'll do it.
If she's like a learning adaptive robot, I mean, I don't
Downloading Thelma and Louise. I hate all men now. You will pay. You will pay.
Yes, exactly. She has seen every movie, every revenge
Every revenge movie. Have seen Revenge of the Nerds. The nerds must get their revenge.
Yeah, how did she learn that? I mean, she has access to like everything, every book.
And yet
every
she's
song.
the most, well, come on, but she's the most cliche monster. She's a little girl monster. She's Regina George as a little pint-sized robot.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
She's Regina George.
Yeah, I mean, this movie basically is Mean Girls with a body count.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, so now Gemma's getting a little suspicious because
People keep dying and disappearing.
well,
Where's that dog?
yeah,
Where's my neighbor?
Yeah,
Where's my boss?
I mean, she kills the neighbor very like dramatically.
Off camera. All the deaths are off camera. Look, a horror movie doesn't need to be gory to be effective, but it does feel like there's a couple scenes missing here.
Right. But she's also like not turning off when, they're like, Megan, turn off. And then she's like, really? Like
It's a fun idea. It is. I don't know if it's particularly scary. I guess the people like, I can't turn my phone off. Alexa, stop listening to me.
actually that happened to me one time with my old phone. Like it wouldn't let me turn off.
All right. Well, I was thinking about this. Let me ask you this really quick. What's the scariest toy that our daughter has? I've got one. What do you got?
The scariest toy?
Yes. What's the scariest toy you can think of that she has? Because I've got a story. And I swear it's brief.
The skeleton?
Oh, Mr. Bones?
Mr. Bones?
Yeah, Mr. Bones. Boy, just saying it out of context right now, people are going, Mr. Bones? Skeleton? Yeah, it's not a full size. It's a little model, but it has eyes.
It's a little science skeleton.
It's a little science, but yeah, it's got these peepers on it.
Yeah, but you add, it's like a puzzle. So you add on the muscles and you can see.
Yeah, but unlike usual skeletons, like this has eyes, and you open its jaws, it looks like, ah! It looks so crazy. And our daughter, she's like, it's Mr. Bones.
And she puts him in like funny.
Like, was he boiled alive? I mean, he looks like he's in agony. He's smiling. He's singing.
So I think it's funny, but it is a little creepy. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, she had this, it was one of those little board toys where it's a wooden board and you could put a cow on it or, a sheep on it.
Oh,
you
yeah.
take it off and it makes a noise. Well, it has a sensor in it. I don't know how effective the sensor is, but like it used to be on my shelf over there. It'd be in the middle of the night. I would walk past the bookshelf and hear, "Meh," like out of nowhere. Like,
Okay.
That went on for the longest time.
Yeah, then I finally got rid of it because
Thank
I
you.
was like, it was
Me
freaking
too.
me out.
Like I don't know if it's possessed or malfunctioning.
No.
It's like it's a wooden board toy.
It was a sensor issue because it didn't. What happened was
But is it sensing our fear? Because it would go off all the time. And it would be late at night. I'd be watching a movie and I heard, "Meh." I'm like, wait a second, I'm watching Sense and Sensibility. What is that? Like, it was crazy.
No, it was because when you put in like the shape of the animal,
Right.
but like some of the shapes went missing, and so the sensor was just out there.
But what was it sensing? Like my shadow? Like what?
No, I think like light.
A human host. I shall terrify thee. Meh.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, cock-a-doodle-doo. Like, I don't, like, and listeners, 3 a.m, okay? It's like silent in our wonderfully quiet home. And then suddenly I hear like cows and stuff. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it went on for a long time.
A long time, because I couldn't find it. Like, where is it? It's in a pile of toys somewhere.
Well, I wanted to donate it because
Let's get rid of this little child's Ouija board.
Yeah, well, I wanted to donate it, so I was trying to like find the pieces, and finally I just threw it away because I was
Thank you.
like, this thing is
man.
like really freaking me
Who
out.
would want this?
Yeah.
You're gonna love this, really.
Yeah, so it's in the dump now,
Yeah.
which I do try to donate things we don't use, but that one was no.
Yeah, I love it that, we're talking about this movie about a killer, state of the art, lavishly expensive AI doll. And you and I are being, traumatized by this little Fisher Price toy.
Well, I think every parent would agree that just like some Legos on the ground in the dark is probably the scariest child's toy.
Well, child's play. Like, I won't talk about it explicitly because I know you don't want to see it. You'll never see it. There's a scene in Child's Play. It's one of the scariest scenes I've ever seen in a movie. Catherine Hicks, she was the mom on Seventh Heaven.
Yeah.
She's the mom in the movie, and the whole thing about Child's Play is the whole film, people keep dying. This little boy has this doll named Chucky, and you don't know if it's the boy or the doll, And the scene, like, the movie's almost over, and the mom is like, people keep dying, and he keeps saying Chucky did it. And she's home alone with this doll, and the TV's on, the doll is just sitting on the couch, and she looks at the doll, and like the whole movie, the doll's, like, hi, my name is Chucky. So she goes over and inspects the doll, and she looks in the battery pack, there's no batteries. Scares the heck out of me. Every time it's like, oh my gosh, yeah, it's such a scary moment. I didn't have anything like that in this movie.
That puzzle, no batteries.
No batteries. It was possessed by the dead animals on the farm. We make this on our farm and we sell it to the toy company.
That is creepy. Okay, so Gemma has pitched M3gan to the bigwigs in the company, and now, she's trying to get this, like, it's like this international or whatever, like, event to launch this thing.
And again, like, I dig this movie so much, but I never believed that anybody with a lot of money would look at this and go, oh, this is a great idea. Let's mass manufacture this thing.
Because this thing was going to be like $10,000. I mean, he was telling her, so this is what doesn't make sense, is the boss was like telling her that the little gerbil-y things that she had made.
Yeah, the Furby things.
The Furbies.
Yeah.
Gerbil. That he needed like a cheaper price point because they weren't like selling as well. And so
who doesn't want a little farting gerbil thingy?
Well, I think they were like, in the movie, they were like $30 and he wanted one for like 20 or something. So then he sees this M3gan doll, and she tells him like $10,000 and he's gonna go for that. Like, it makes no sense. Who is in the market for a $10,000 AI robot?
Yeah, that's pretty nuts. And I know they're doing a sequel as we speak. If they do the sequel, and of course they will, I hope they explore this idea even further. Like, if M3gans are mass marketed, is it a problem bringing a M3gan to school with you as a friend?
Well, and are they all dressed the same? Do they all look the same?
And does a M3gan become like your support animal, right? It's like you could either have like one of those little dogs with this little vest, or you can have a M3gan.
Emotional support robot.
Yeah.
How does that work? Like, if you're gonna fly on an airplane, do you have to buy M3gan a plane ticket?
And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm freaking out. Don't worry, Barry. Here, let's listen to your comfort music. I don't want to wait any longer. Do do do. She's stroking my head. Do 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 do. Oh, thanks, M3gan.
This sounds
Thanks,
like a
M3gan.
nightmare.
I think it sounds great.
I'm like, M3gan, stop playing that song.
I requested an aisle seat. I'm gonna get rid of you.
Yeah, is she gonna like turn on me?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, see? Everyone,
Because she'll be, because we'll be bonded together. Yeah, we'll be paired. Yeah.
Well, do I have a M3gan?
Ooh, you have a Morgan.
Oh. So I have like some creepy boy doll?
You and I are best friends.
Are our dolls friends?
Ooh, they are not.
They're not? They're enemies?
I think they would be paired against each other.
Oh, man.
I love that. That's cool.
So then they try to pit us against each other?
No, I think the dolls are trying to like one up each other. That's what I think. We're just like spitballing sequel ideas as we speak. I wonder if M3gan 2, when we finally get it, is going to be as good as any of this.
I don't know.
We'll have to revisit this episode and find out.
Okay, so at this point, Gemma knows something's wrong with M3gan, and she...
Like all these characters, like something strange is happening.
Yeah, like
what could be going on with this really
because she
bizarre
because she tries to go in and look at her files and the videos, and they're like corrupted and or not uploaded, and she can't. Apparently, when M3gan's working properly, she's recording everything she's seeing, and so essentially like the user could go in and see everything, but like the murders were not recorded. Strange. Body cam footage not found. Awfully convenient.
This would be so scary if the kid really did if M3gan came across like that evil, super genius, all-encompassing internet entity that you've indicated. But she reminds me exactly of that mean little girl in Peabody and Sherman. Remember that little blonde girl? That's exactly who this character reminds me of.
You're a dog.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's totally what she... Yes, you're right. Okay, so Gemma like has her at the at the toy company, and she's basically like, I gotta tell my boss that this is not happening, but she drives home instead to check on Katie, and then M3gan like murders her coworkers and like goes on a rampage in the company, and this is where we see her like crazy dance in front of the boss.
Why did this scene become an internet sensation?
And people are like going bananas over it.
I don't get it. Do people just not dance enough?
I don't know. I feel
people
like
freaked out over that Wednesday scene too. It's there are better dance scenes than this. Has nobody seen Footloose?
I think it's because people are like, ooh, I'm gonna put that on my TikTok.
It's so ridiculous. Does nobody care about Mikhail Baryshnikov or Gregory Hines or Savion Glover? Like, there were some really amazing dancers.
I don't even know who those people are. Just kidding.
Oh my gosh. I'm so depressed right
All
now.
I heard is blah, blah, blah,
blah, blah,
blah. Just kidding. No, but what did you think of the dance, like, when you saw it? Like, did you think it was, like, a creative way to distract this guy? Or did you just think, like, this is lame?
I thought the movie was really silly at that point. I was entertained, but honestly, like, emotionally, I checked out. Like, I'm not really... At this point, it's like the movie doesn't totally care anymore about the little girl and the relationship with the aunt. Or the film is... at that point, it was kind of coasting on again, the machinations of this killer doll and going through all the requirements of this movie. It's well done. It's a very well directed movie, and again, like, I love the tone of it. I think the tone is key, because it's not really interested in being a gory, gross out movie. It's really this comedy just about our inability to create AI that's human.
Well, I mean, obviously, I don't think that's an oxymoron. I don't think you can create an AI that's human.
Well, if we can create AI that can replicate our thoughts and, the scary thing, our emotions and our emotional capacity, then that's also a game over moment, because then we'll have an inability to step away from something. Yeah, that was the thing about Spielberg's AI, which I think is still the best movie to deal with this. I think it's even better than Blade Runner, because it's this idea of like, look, it's it's ridiculous to say I love you to a toaster, but what if a toaster says I love you to you? How do you feel about that? And are you able to be like,
I go, shut up, toaster, just toast my toast.
But I love you. I made you toast. Don't you love me?
And then I unplug it from the wall and I say, nope, not today.
But that was the thing. I mean, there's a wrenching scene in that movie. It's one of Spielberg's best scenes. It's so heartbreaking, where the mother leaves her robot boy in the forest and drives away, and the boy is like running after his mom, and he's crying and he's devastated. And the thing is, the boy is a toaster, and the mom is leaving this robot boy. But the thing is, the robot boy is encoded with her. He loves her, and the algorithms in his body are everything the emotional equivalent of what we have as love. So it's like, well, is love something that is so untouchable that it's only human? We can't replicate that. And, like the great line in Pacino's got that line in Devil's Advocate, love is something, it's the equivalent of large doses of chocolate. Like, okay, Is being human so precious that only we can feel these things?
Yes.
Well, I mean, if a robot can beat us at chess, can it feel love?
Yeah, but how do we know it's not just pretending or acting? Like, you can't.
There we go. Yeah.
You're never gonna know if it's sincere. Just like how people are duped by like narcissists, right? Like, if you can be duped by a narcissist for years and, you know, stay with someone who's horrible, but you are like, no, they really love me. You think you can't be duped by AI?
Well, I know I can be duped by AI, especially seeing those deep fakes.
Yeah.
And that's very troubling.
Yeah. So I think something could act like love or express loving thoughts or say things that would make you feel something back. But is it really feeling? I don't think so.
It's deep questions that this movie doesn't really want to deal with. I think it does in the first act. I think by the third act, it's a monster movie. It's a well done monster movie. It is. But honestly, emotionally, I kind of checked out for the third act. So
M3gan is just like killing people, and she finally gets in a car, drives home, and then what ensues is just like her going after Gemma, and they have a big fight, and then Katie saves the day by taking the other robot. The big one that really gets her into the idea of AI. The one that's able to. The one that Gemma shows, because this was the prototype. Basically, like the whole like concept of M3gan started with this. This was like the thing that she created that kind of put her on the map, and also, Yeah. So in the end, I mean, like, her creepy face gets like ripped into, hair is all crazy, and finally, like, the facade is ripped off, and you just see like the, computer behind the fake face. Yeah. And
which is great, because that's the thing. Yeah, exactly.
And then the screwdriver goes into like her motherboard, and that's it. Yeah. Or you think that's it. Mm-hmm. Because at the very end, Elsie turns on. So it's like, did M3gan go into Elsie and like reprogram her as M3gan? And then that whatever M3gan is that the sequel? Like, she comes back, like she's not actually dead, but she's like goes into another form.
I think it's only an interesting sequel if M3gan does come. I mean, certainly, maybe if they make it that instead of that particular robot, M3gan comes back as a different model. Yeah, and maybe enters that girl's life as seemingly as a human, but she's an imposter. Maybe something like that, but
also, okay,
I'm not interested in a house that's possessed, by technology.
No. But I think that the ending also, my original thought when that like Alexa Elsie thing went on was like, we don't have one because I won't do that, but so many people have these like Alexa things, and it's like, you're already letting something listen to you and help you. It's like, it's already like one step towards this in reality for a lot of people.
Someone, I think a decade ago, told me, we're living in an age where there's no more privacy. Privacy is a facade because everything is out in the open. Everything's transparent. Yeah, but like, I'm like, no. The stuff I put on Facebook, I have a very different, I'm very old fashioned.
Okay, but your phone is like listening to you. So, for example, I ordered this like protein powder, right? And then the day it was like delivered to me, I started seeing ads for this exact product in like my social media stuff. I'd never seen the ads before, but right when it was delivered to me, now I'm seeing the ads. Like, how did it know that?
So the one time I really hated that was when one night in a moment of weakness, you were asleep on Netflix, I watched Weekend at Bernie's 2. And then Netflix for about a year would be like, because you like Weekend at Bernie's 2, maybe you would like Smoking the Bandit Part 2 and Magic Mike 2 and Friday the 13th Part 2. I'm like, all these crappy sequels. Like, talk on it, Netflix. It was a moment of weakness, man. Leave me alone. Get off my back. I regret watching Weekend at Bernie's 2. I don't want to watch any more bad sequels, but like every time I turn on Netflix,
It was like, oh, we know what you like.
would you like to watch Police Academy 2? Miss Congeniality 2, Armed and Fabulous. Speed 2, Cruise Control.
Well, that was the
You
win.
monsters.
Okay.
So I like the movie. I think it's especially effective during the first hour. I like the movie a lot. I really do. For me, it's 3 stars. It's enjoyable, but I got to be honest. Like by the third act, I'm like, okay, this is fun, but I'm no longer surprised by it. But the first hour, if anything, I'm surprised because it didn't seem to really care about Megan. It cared about the little girl. It cared about the logic of this wacky toy factory. It cared about, making fun of all of the conveniences of technology. So I think the movie starts off strong and it ends fine, but it's not a great horror film, but I think it's a really fun movie and a real sleeper. I mean, my expectations were not very high for this one at all.
Mm-hmm. I mean, okay, this film critic is the one who's like teaching a class on horror movies. So, of course, his standards are like through the roof. But from my perspective, it was scary enough to be like, oh my gosh.
You would jump a lot and you'd look at me and I'd be like, no, no. No, she put her hand through the fence and the little dog jumps forward. Like, yeah, no, that's jump scare 101 right there. No, no, I've seen Cujo. Okay, no, movie. No, you don't get to scare me with old reheated material.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is,
it's like when a cat jumps through a window. So like, come on.
I mean, for people like me who don't love horror films and who are kind of scaredy cats, it's kind of perfect,
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
So we have like some social commentary.
Yeah.
We have some creepiness. We have a little bit of like a thriller and like a heartfelt story.
It admittedly is probably one of the few times we watched a horror film together and we really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that almost never happens.
No, that never happens.
Never.
Because I either don't watch it or or I'm too scared. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, I think I'd give it like 3.5 stars too.
3.5? Really?
Yeah. It was good. Too much?
Yeah, I'd lose that half. That's too many.
It's too many.
Why? Why is it almost 4 stars? Because you're not a 5-star. You're all about the 4, right?
Yeah. Well, okay. Admittedly, like learning how they did Megan made me appreciate it more.
Oh, the
special effects situation.
Oh man, those behind the scenes things, man, they get you every time.
It clouded my judgment because I was like, "That's cool." Yeah, I know. So I probably should give it more like 2.5, but because of like the inventiveness of how they did Megan, because I thought it was going to be all like CGI, and it's not CGI at all.
If I showed you the behind the scenes footage about Bullet Train, you might really like that film because that's a state of the art film. You wouldn't believe how they made the train.
Oh my gosh.
Did you know Brad Pitt wasn't even in that movie? It was a deep fake.
It's a deep fake. Like, we used this Brad Pitt AI doll, and we got him for
no one could tell the difference.
Fraction of the price.
Oh, man, what a slam. It's one of Brad Pitt's best performances. I wasn't even in that movie. My Brad Pitt sounded a lot like Stallone right there. I regret that.
Yeah, I regret
I wasn't even in Rocky. It was AI. It was a deep fake.
I know. So would you give it an alternative ending?
No. In fact, I think the ending is forced because what happened was I fell asleep during the last 4 seconds of the movie and went, ooh. And then the end credits started. I'm like, whoa, what was the twist? And I went back and watched it. I'm like, oh, all right.
Just the Alexa going on.
Yeah, just the dun dun.
Yeah, where I was like, oh, it's Alexa. Like, that's Megan. Like, this is our, I mean, I was probably going a little too deep with it. Like, oh, we already all have a Megan,
I was talking to my class recently about Goosebumps. I mean, this movie is it's like a really good R.L. Stine novel. It's not Stephen King. It's not Clive Barker. It's R.L. Stine. And that's fine. R.L. Stine is fun. Not scary, but fun.
Okay.
Ooh, the Alexa is... No, I don't know. I mean, it's the movie goes through the motions of what it has to happen. Okay, like they have to kill the doll, and there has to be a final battle, and everything has to be out in the open, and lots of people have to die. I wish
a ton of people don't even die though.
Yeah, I know. This is one of the most gentle horror films in recent memory, but it works. And that's really saying a lot. The PG-13, I don't think hobbles the movie. It's not a brilliant film, but there is wit here, and there's some interesting commentary, and there's good stuff. It's very well done. It's clearly made by a very talented filmmaker. He's a New Zealand filmmaker. I've been told that his prior film Housebound is excellent. I've yet to see it. But I'm down for the sequel. I hope it's good. I hope they have time to really come up with something wild.
Or else Netflix is going to be like, Barry, do you want to watch M3gan 2?
In a moment of weakness at will. It'd be like, Barry, since you liked M3gan 2, would you like to watch Saw 2? Candyman 2?
Well, I think we covered it.
Yeah, I think we did. All right, well, if you want to see a really great killer doll movie, there's Annabelle, there's Child's Play, and the greatest, which is Magic with Anthony Hopkins, the best one.
Okay, I have no scary doll movie recommendations, so I hope you enjoyed this podcast.
Good night, everyone.